start with the London game since it was the first game. Dolphins and Jaguars in London, and man, oh man, Tua's first game back after those the fractured ribs and all that, looking real gosh dang good, folks. I don't want to hear nothing about Tua last night, and don't fall in the trap of the national media. I'm telling y'all, it is already beginning today. Everybody's putting the blame on Tua, and Tua deserves absolutely 1% of the blame, and that was just because of the interception. That was absolutely very, very bad, and I've got it queued up. Let's just talk about it, get it right out of the way. This interception was absolutely terrible. All the blame is on Tua right here. I'm not bailing out Tua. This was the worst play of the day by Tua, but that's it. He only had one bad play for the entire game. I think we can give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here because he truly made up for it on the following drive. So the interception comes off of the fumble, the Jacksonville fumble, when they were down in Dolphins territory looking to put up some more points. Defense comes up big, forces a fumble, and jumps on it and recover. And then the very next play is a Tua interception. And it's a bad play, but it was a flat-footed throw here. He didn't step into this. This was not a bad decision. Well, it was a bad decision to throw this ball flat-footed, but it wasn't like he was making a bad read or the throw as he, was in a clean pocket and truly stepped into the throw and put everything in that he had into the throw. It wasn't like that. It was just pure flat feet right here. And it's pure as day. I saw it live, but obviously nobody else saw it because we're going to talk about somebody kind of complaining about this in a second. But Tua drops back to pass, sees it open, and sees something open for a slight second, maybe gets taken away because right here he's in the stance to throw. He wants to throw the ball right now, but he hesitates. He pulls it back down, and then look at this, just once again flat-footed, trying to just put his entire arm strength into this throw, not stepping into it, and it comes up about 5 yards short, trying to hit another receiver over here off the screen. Trying to hit that throw over the linebacker before the safety, that kind of narrow throw that we always love and celebrate when it gets completed because it's truly a great, precise pinpoint throw. But Tua not stepping into this throw and just short arms it, and that's 100% on him. You can't throw flat-footed in this league. 9 times out of 10, you throw flat-footed, that's going to be a pick, and that's exactly what it was here. And then we had Chris Carter, a legend wide receiver, Chris Carter out here, and he has to go out and tweet, and once again, part of the national media narrative right here that is all blaming Tua. Y'all want to blame Tua and then praise Sam Darnold. It's so bizarre to me. Truly bizarre. So Chris Carter, after this kind of throw, he goes out and tweets this. That throw right there is the perfect example of Tua will struggle in the NFL because of a hashtag weak arm. This is why Tua's going to struggle in the NFL, because he hasn't been struggling so far. He's got a 7-5 record as a starter. This was another loss because of bad coaching, bad play calling, running the ball on 4th and 1. What are we talking about here? So here we go. Tie game 2020. Dolphins have the ball, 1:49 seconds left in the game, and they're at their own 47-yard line, and it's 4th and 1, and you decide to run a play out of the shotgun on 4th and 1 instead of a QB sneak or just a handoff, under center. I mean, when you do a handoff 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, you're making a 4th and 1, a 4th and 6. I mean, you are actively putting yourself behind the 8th ball here in a do or die 4th down situation, and this is what they call. Not even Tua, who's been balling out this entire game. Oh, I forgot to mention, after that interception, you know what he did? He went on a 7-play, 88-yard touchdown drive to make up for that. So don't put that out there that Tua can't throw, and I can't wait till we get to Wednesday, folks, for our Wednesday film study, because you better gosh dang believe we're looking at every single one of Tua's throws, and we're going to be breaking them down, and then there's nowhere for y'all to hide. The Tua haters, not even haters, I don't even know what y'all are even thinking when you're watching this, man. I mean, he was picking up so many third downs, and his accuracy, folks, I think that gets lost in the shuffle. His accuracy, Tua, and I'm going to say this, folks, and clown me if you want, hang, I don't know if I can go that far, geez, yeah, I truly just lost my, train of thought. I was going to say, you can hang me on the cross, but I think that's going a little bit too far, and then I just lost my track of thought. But yeah, I'm going to say this. Y'all ready for this? Tua is more accurate of a passer than Lamar Jackson is. Pure accuracy-wise, folks, Tua is top 3 perfect ball placement, accurate quarterbacks in the league. Better than Lamar Jackson. I 100% believe that. 100% believe Tua is a better ball placer than Lamar Jackson overall in totality. Obviously, Lamar's a better dual threat. I don't really like Tua running at all. I don't really count him as a dual threat quarterback. But pure precision passer, Tua's got it over Lamar Jackson. So I've said it. It's out there, and I'm ready to stick by it. So y'all can come at me if you want, but just absolute perfection right there, leading them down, and now they have a 20-17 lead, and that brings us to this play right here on 4th and 1. You don't even utilize Tua. I mean, they went for it on 4th. They went with it with Jacoby Brissett, or faked like they were going to go for it on 4th down earlier in the game with Jacoby Brissett, and they actually used Jacoby Brissett under center because they were, kind of faking the QB sneak. On 4th and 1, it should always be QB sneak. I don't care. QB sneak or fullback dive. Those are really the only 2 plays you should ever run on 4th down. And I'm really kind of more leaning towards the QB sneaks. Get down, get in there, and reach the ball over the 1 yard. That's all you have to do. And the genius play callers over here by Miami go for it on 4th and 1 from the shotgun and run the ball. Doesn't even let Tua run the ball here since he's been kind of doing all the work here. And obviously they come up a little bit short, and the Jaguars win the game because of this garbage call right here. So absolute, it's just, I'm going to be frustrated all week, folks, because I'm seeing this in the media. And I'm not saying this because we are Dolphins fans over here. We're saying this because we literally analyze every single quarterback every single week. And what we're seeing out of Tua, it looks absolutely fantastic. And then we get on social media and see what all the professional media figures are saying. And it's just clown Tua after Tua after Tua when they're praising Sam Darnold. It's just like, what are we doing? What are y'all doing out there? Jeez. So unfortunately, the Dolphins lose this game, and, I don't like the offensive coordinators here for the Dolphins. I don't like these defensive-minded head coaches here. I like Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator, but this man is not a head coach's decision-making, his hiring, because when defensive people get into head coaching positions, they think they're so great at calling defensive schemes that they can kind of try and get away with not using a lot of money in the defensive area because, they're the head coach. So they're like, all right, I can take control of the defense and I can, do whatever I want schematically defense. I can get garbage players and turn them into great defensive players. That's what all defensive-minded head coaches kind of think. So then they leave the big money spending to the offensive side, but then they hire just poor offensive talent because the defensive-minded head coaches don't really know offensive coordinator talent. So they just hire offensive people who don't know what they're doing, and then they have all this money to ruin the offense here. I mean, we've got no consistent playmakers right here on offense. Jaylen Waddle finally got going here because Devontae Parker was out. What do we got here? Jaylen Waddle, 10 catches for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns, finally coming into his own. I mean, why did it take 6 weeks for this offense to finally utilize Jaylen Waddle here? I mean, it's just so bizarre in this Dolphins offense. It's absolutely bad. It's trash. It's one of the worst offenses, not because of Tua. Tua's the only great thing about this offense. Maybe Mike Gesicki as well. Very, very solid tight end out here in the league. Shout out to Tight End University. But, man, oh, man, I hate this Tua narrative, and we're going to have to endure it all week long. But the best I could say to y'all is don't get caught up in it. It's all lies. It's all blasphemous nonsense, folks. I truly think nobody knows what they're talking about when it comes to Tua besides us. But we digress on that. Let's start talking about some stats here because we can get down stats-wise on Tua because it was a real great performance. And we set a bar for Tua this week at 64% completion percentage, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. We didn't want to see a pick. He did throw a pick, but, everything else, I mean, his completion percentage is 70%, folks, 33 of 47. That's 70%. So he had 6 extra percent completion percentage than our bar, and he also had about 70 more extra yards than our bar because he threw for 329 yards, 2 touchdowns, exactly what we wanted to see. Just that interception, truly unfortunate there. But it resulted into no points, and it actually actually resulted into 7 points for the Dolphins because, like we said, Tua makes up for that interception with a touchdown drive. So Tua was absolutely brilliant. I will say absolutely brilliant yesterday morning against the Jaguars in London, and we're going to be breaking him down on our film study to show y'all improvement because this man was picking up third downs and being so accurate with the ball, folks. So freaking accurate. So I don't think we fire Brian Flores, but, you can't be a head coach. You just got to be a defensive coordinator. Same thing like Todd Bowles. He was not a head coach. He was a great defensive coordinator. He goes back to being a defensive coordinator for the Bucs, and he wins a Super Bowl. I mean, it's that simple. So I don't want Brian Flores as a head coach anymore. I would still like him to be on the roster as a defensive coordinator, but, I mean, you have to always have offensive-minded head coaches as the head coach, folks. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, look at all these defensive-minded head coaches out here floundering. And once again, don't come at me with the Bill Belichick. That makes no sense. He is the exception to the rule. Same thing like Tom Brady. He's the exception to all the quarterback rules out there. Same thing with Bill Belichick. So I don't need y'all coming in the comments being like, well, Bill Belichick, do you know about the Peyton? Folks, please. All right. So Tua was looking absolutely fantastic. Very awful job by the coaching staff here by the Dolphins of just completely beefing this game. And how about that field goal that randomly hooked? It was like 10 yards outside and that just magically hooks in bottom right. Just barely gets it over to tie the game. I don't know, maybe some wonky things going over there in London with some magnets and magnetism or something, because that did not seem right to the naked eye. But I guess we can't blame magnets for winning the Jaguars the game. All right, what else we got here by the Dolphins? Malcolm Brown, who tried to run it on fourth down right here. This was the dude that they ran it on fourth down with, folks. 5 carries for 24 yards. He had 5 carries for 24 yards. Game on the line, 1 yard, and they go to that man. The man that had 24 yards and only 5 carries the entire game. 4 carries heading up to that moment. They went with that man and not Tua. So once again, the offensive coordinators are like actively not trying to have Tua be successful out here. People are trying to hold Tua back for what reason? For what reason, folks? It's absolutely bizarre. I don't know if I'm the only one that's seeing it, that Tua is actually very, very good. And I would say top 10 quarterback. Top 10? Yeah, I can go top 10. I can go top 10 quarterback in this league. I've got no problem with that. So I just don't understand it, folks. It's like everybody's trying to make Tua not succeed in this league, and I don't get it. I don't get it, folks. I don't get it. Salvin Ahmed, running back for the Dolphins, 7 carries for 22 yards. Tua, 3 carries for 22 yards. Myles Gaskin, 5 carries for 9 yards. Once again, Myles Gaskin was the absolute reason the Dolphins were even maybe in that game last week against the Bucs, where they really got blown out, but in the first quarter, decently competitive. It was all Myles Gaskin. He put up like 50 plus yards rushing, like 70 plus yards receiving, and then this week they go Myles Gaskin, 5 carries for 9 yards. Once again, I mean, these offensive play callers and offensive coordinators for the Dolphins, what are they doing out here? I mean, you see Myles Gaskin kind of ball out one week, and then the very next week you barely utilize them. It just makes no sense, especially with Devontae Parker out. So our number 1 wide receiver's out, and then you don't try to make up for that. It's just like every decision is going against Tua, and then the media is just jumping on that as well. All right, who was Tua throwing the ball to? We got Mike Gesicki. I mean, that man was balling out. Shout out to Tight End University. Like we said, leading receiver here for the Dolphins. 8 receptions for 115 yards and absolutely clutch when he needed to be in the second quarter, or in the second half, I should say. Jaylen Waddle, real solid performances as well. 10 receptions for 70 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. Mac Hollins, 4 receptions, 61 yards. Durham Smythe, another tight end, 5 receptions, 59 yards. Salvin Ahmed, 1 reception, 15-yard running back. Albert Wilson, 2 receptions for 14 yards. So Tua spreading the ball around, utilizing all of his weapons here that are left here, that are basically just tight ends and running backs. So Tua got it done. Unfortunately, the entire team let him down. The entire team, coaching staff, defense, some offensive players letting him down right there. Like we said, Malcolm Brown running it on 4th and 1, even though he barely ran it all game. Okay. All right, let's talk about the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence looking real solid in this game like we know he does. I mean, this man's looking real good. Probably the best rookie quarterback of this class, just pure talent-wise so far out of the 6 games that we've seen. Super impressed with Trevor Lawrence just sticking with it. Never gets down on himself. Always in the game right here. It makes, 1 to 2 to 3 great throws that are just wow every single game. So got to give credit to Trevor Lawrence right there. Getting it done, 25 of 41 for 319 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception. Shout out to that. Let's get this completion percentage up, 25 of 41. We get 60% completion percentage. Definitely could have been a little bit better, but 319 yards, slinging it around, and we love that, and that's what we love about Trevor Lawrence as well. It's not all dink and dunk by Trevor Lawrence. It's rarely dink and dunk. The man is confident in his abilities to go deep and hit those kind of 10-plus, 15-plus yard routes down the field decently, consistently. Going to Laviska Shenault Jr., I believe, for the touchdown. Who did he have? Marvin Jones. Yeah, Marvin Jones. And that touchdown pass, geez Louise, absolutely fantastic. 28 yards, corner end zone. Absolutely brilliant throw there by Trevor Lawrence. I mean, this man is truly great. And, this man's going to have a great career depending on if Urban Meyer is good. They finally got their first win, and Urban Meyer didn't stay back in London with the teams or without the team. So that's kind of good, building on that. But then if you saw the locker room speech after, it was just like real. I hated it by Urban Meyer. It should have been just all like excitement and enthusiasm and passion and all that. Finally, celebrating with their team. But then it was just like real monotone and no excitement, making the players kneel and all that. I was just like, okay, I don't think that's how you should have. You specifically, Urban Meyer should have celebrated that with your team, given your history and all that. But whatever, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But, Trevor Lawrence, absolutely fantastic out there. Can continue to buy him. No worries there. James Robinson, leading rusher, very, very fantastic. The only rusher here for the Jaguars. 17 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown. Give credit to that. Very, very well done. And then who was Trevor Lawrence throwing to all game? Marvin Jones, 7 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown. Jamal Agnew, 5 receptions for 78 yards. Laviska Shenault Jr., 6 catches for 54 yards. And James Robinson, 3 receptions, 28 yards. Dan Arnold, 2 receptions, 27 yards. But this man is not good at all, folks. We don't like to disrespect any tight ends out here, but Dan Arnold, folks, I mean, once again, dropping open passes right here that would have gotten them the first down. And they kind of got fleeced because remember, this Dan Arnold acquisition came up about like 2 weeks ago in a trade, and the Panthers got rid of him. So a little bit of a fleece there by the Carolina Panthers to dump off a not great tight end to the Jaguars. But he had 2 catches for 27 yards, 5 targets. Luke Farrell, 1 catch for 21 yards. So overall, the Jaguars get it done. Shout out to the kicker, making huge kicks down the stretch right here. This field goal to tie it up at 20 apiece, the 54-yarder that hooked in, like we said, maybe some magnetism right there. And then the game winner, folks, 53 yards right down the middle, no question, easy peasy right there. So Jaguars get the win in London, 23-20, and now we have to hear about Tua being trash all week, folks. So gear up for that, and we're ready to prove everybody wrong on Wednesday. So come back to us on Wednesday to figure out why Tua is so gosh dang good, folks. All right.